Hello friends and fellow gamers, MKxJUMP here, and this week we've got a brand new event for Idle Hero that's offering an awakening opportunity which could see many free-to-play players getting themselves A-tier heroes. I'll give you the maths and the breakdown and the expectation for that one in a little bit, but also we'll be talking about whether it's worth spending on this week's event, as there is a lot up for grabs, and it probably is going to be something where some spenders will be very attracted to this, and likely others will just say, no, this is ridiculous. On top of that, Hero Token has returned to the treasure train, so we'll be talking about that too. That is extremely exciting. Before we jump in with all that though, let me remind you, if you need help with your Idle Heroes account, join us on Tuesdays for account reviews. You can sign up there through our Discord, which you can find in the description, and make sure you join our Twitch stream, twitch.tv/MKxJUMP. On top of that, one of the easiest ways to get access to sign up for account reviews is by clicking that link up there and backing me on Patreon. So if that's something you're interested in and you need one-to-one help with your Idle Heroes account, come check us out on a Tuesday. Quick disclaimer, this Tuesday there will not be a stream as I'm away in the south of England, but when I'm back, Tuesdays will resume as normal, so hopefully see you in a couple weeks' time. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump in with this week's event for Idle Heroes. So, kicking things off for this week, every day for logging in, you're going to get 4 dice and 100 flaming electric guitars. Let's not talk about the fact this guitar has 3 strings, 4 tuning pegs, and also a body as long as its neck. But yeah, it's definitely weird from guitar anatomy standpoint and makes no sense. But hey, it's 100 of a resource that we can use to get some rewards. More on that later. Make sure you're claiming all this, by the way, as you will need those dice and those resources to maximize your reward gain. Anyway, if you want to get more and more of those guitars, you need to click the loot button here frequently on your account so that you can get yourself more and more of the flaming electric guitars, and you will get plenty of them for logging in. Oh, look at that. I leveled up. This week, you can choose to spend your money in several ways. Value packages is one of them, giving you access to gems and to dice. This is probably not worth it, considering the fact that this event's main feature is not going to be Imp's Adventure, so personally I wouldn't go buying this. Also, you can see there's no treasure train tickets available either, so it makes me very tentative with spending contract story gems. So personally, I think a lot of this stuff here is a skip. Moving on down, we have the Adventure Package. This is pretty solid value. For 50 bucks, you can get 10,000 gems, you're getting some dice, universal crystals, and more importantly, you're getting 10 rewards of the 2 new features for this week. You're getting Sacred Awakening Stones and also Charm Treasure Coupons. We'll be talking about why these are potentially good later on, but personally I wouldn't buy this unless you really wanted to push the features in this week's event. You do get double rewards in Imp's Adventure, but as Imp's Adventure still continues to give mediocre rewards, it's not that worth it. Looking at these rewards, you are getting extra flaming electric guitars, and they are doubled by the Imp's Adventure package. You're also getting yourself scrolls, elite hero shards, skins, 6-star puppet chests, and a 5-star imminent hero chest. This point is probably achievable for free-to-play players, especially if you use your gems to buy more dice, but getting further on is likely not going to happen for the majority of people. You're only really going to be getting the 9-star puppet here if you buy the adventure package. So I suppose you are getting 2 9-stars because you'll double your rewards, but I don't know if that's necessarily worth it in the grand scheme. Some quick advice for Imp's Adventure: roll your dice and your imp will move around, and ideally you will land on the starry mushrooms, leveling them up, which will improve the number of stars they give each time you pass them. Eventually you'll find yourself landing on the lucky hut and getting a lucky dice, and use that whenever you can to roll 6 here on this Spirit Workshop, and 4, 3, 2, and 1, just to cut off this corner to improve the tempo with which you move around the board. The Starlight rhythm is here. This is a way you can cash in your electric guitars, and it's great to see that the pink selection chest and the orange selection chest are back. This means free-to-play players will absolutely be able to get themselves an orange artifact here, most people leaning towards the Lady Sunshade hat or the Soul Conjuring Flute, as these are really good items from Hero Token that will either improve your crowd control for mages, or they'll improve the overall attack of your team. If you can and have the universal crystals for it, you might even push for a pink chest here, in which case I'd recommend the Queen's Glass, as this gives the most attack of any item in Hero Token. Other ones worth considering as well are the 2 retro gaming items, as these can be useful for pushing Void Campaign. You may be tempted to go for Starspawn materials, but personally I do think the orange chest is superior value, so if you had the opportunity, I would pick this over the Starspawns. If you have anything left over, probably just use that for heroic summon scrolls, as heroic summon events do offer really good rewards. Next up is the Shelter mission. This is giving you the opportunity to pick up a hero from each of the factions. Here for the Fortress faction is Luna, and you need 4 assassins. So you need 4 4-star Roys and a 5-star from the Fortress faction, and you'll get a Luna copy, you'll get 2 pieces of armor, and 5 dice. The dice are the most important thing here, as they will help your progress in Imp's adventure. Do this for each of the heroes you can. You need Rangers for Eloise, you need Warriors for Siahu, and because there are no Rangers in the Abyss faction, you'll need Assassins for Abyss, which means you need a Kasha. Quite difficult to get a Kasha, as there's only 1 assassin in the Abyss faction. Good luck doing that, but ideally you'll be able to do all 4. Also, Natalie is here. Normally, I wouldn't recommend people to go ahead and pick up the light and dark heroes, as typically they're not worth it, but there may be some people that really like the idea of picking up a Natalie here, and you can get that for 2 light heroes and 2,000 gems. The Patricia, though, I don't think is worth the gems. Now we move on to the next big part of this week's event, and this is where things are different from an Imp's Adventure or Shelter Mission event. We have Soul Awakening and the Treasure Train, but these are enhanced versions. So you can see, you can buy an Awakening Stone. This will allow you to awaken a hero in the new Awakening area, which is limited for this week. However, each of these purchases are VIP locked, so depending on your VIP level will actually impact your ability to buy these. To buy all 150 of them, you need to spend over $300 and also be VIP 10. That is absolutely crazy. All these packages here come up to just over $300, and to get the final ones you may need, you also have to go ahead and buy the adventure package. So it's potentially $350 just for a single area. Considering then that there's also another option for treasure train tickets, there are some people who could easily be spending almost $700 this week. I think that is ridiculous at absolutely horrendous value. But there are going to be some whales that get very excited when you see what these items can get you. Yes, the additional bonuses aren't that exciting. You can see it's mostly just chests with Transcendence heroes and the occasional cores thrown in here too. I guess the cores are nice, but they're really not worth the price point. The reason that people are going to get excited about this is because of the opportunity to get A-tier heroes and rare treasure train items. Let's start with the Awakening. Here, the drop rate is enhanced with roughly 0.5% chance to get yourself an A-. That is significantly better than we have seen it in the past. And if you look at Bs, Bs are significantly enhanced as well. A 9.7% chance for a B-, 4.4% for a B, and almost 1% for a B+. That means that people are likely to be getting themselves some really good heroes from this, and actually only the first 10 awakens that you do are bound. The rest of them can be sold on the auction house. So there is a possibility that people are going to spend big on this event, get a lot of heroes, sell them on the auction house, and that could be really, really good. First reason this is good is for those accounts, they are going to get themselves a lot of starry gems by doing that. And the second thing that's good is it is going to refill the auction house with much needed heroes, as the auction house is currently in a position where we really are hoping that more and more heroes can enter it. There are so few heroes for things like Natalie and Williams, Wukong. We just do not have very many A tiers for these heroes. So maybe this will improve the number of A tiers available. The other reason this is excellent is free-to-play players are able to get themselves 10 of the Awakening Stones by using their contract starry gems. You then get to do 10 Awakens. Considering the drop rate here, even though these heroes are bound to your account, you are likely to be able to destroy them for more than the 1,000 contract starry gems you spent, therefore giving you a profit. These contract starry gems can be saved for future events to get amazing rewards. As well, last week's event gave you 600 contract starry gems for free, assuming you've been pushing the Realms Gate, so you should be able to do this absolutely no problem. Now let's work out the exact probability that a free-to-play player gets themselves an A-tier hero. Let's start by adding together all our probabilities for A heroes. So if we just go and do this, we'll add in S as well, which is going to be 0.0472. And we can see that there's a 0.462% chance that you get yourself an A- from a single Awaken. Given that there are 10 attempts, we need to do some additional maths. So let's go ahead and minus this off 100. Some quick maths has that come out at, I believe, 99.5378. And that is the chances that you don't get an A-. Sounds pretty definite, right? Now, if we put this number here as a decimal percentage, we can then put it to the power 10 to find out the probability that we're not getting an A- from our first 10 awakens. And that comes out at 95.4%. Now, if we subtract this number from 1, you can see that there is a 4.53% chance that you get yourself an A-, which means about 1 in 21 free-to-play players will be getting an A- this week. That's actually really, really, really good odds. 1 in 21 players with an A- on their account is pretty cool. And there are going to be lots of you in the comment section, no doubt, that tell us about the A- heroes you managed to pick up this week. So my advice for you guys is only awaken heroes that you would want an A- of. Your main damage dealer or your secondary damage dealer. Heroes like Aspen or Natalia, Williams. Heroes where you're going to see amazing progress for having an A-tier copy of them on your account. And I promise you, 1 in 21 free-to-play players will be getting A-tiers this week. And that is actually really exciting. If you're a spender, you're actually guaranteed an A-tier if you are able to do all 150 summons and not get one. There's a good chance that if you do choose to go ahead and spend this week, you might even get multiple A-tiers if you're lucky, considering the percentage chance of getting one. Therefore, I think it's actually pretty interesting if people do want to go ahead and spend here in the Glorious Feast, especially if they're VIP 10, because then they're guaranteed to get the A- at the very end if they're not lucky enough building up to it. But also it means they're going to be able to get loads of hero copies, which they can sell for Starry Gems, and then ultimately buy more A-tiers with as well. This is incredible value if you're afraid of buying Starry Gems off of other players. I know that's something that a lot of people do, and a lot of people are nervous about it because there's lots of ways that you could get scammed and there's no security protection on the purchases. You just have to rely on the friendship of the player that you've bought those Starry Gems off. If you're one of those people who is nervous about doing that, this is actually one of the better ways that you can actually get Starry Gems onto your account and also get A-tiers onto your account. So potentially a really good event. So let's go and take a look now at the treasure train. This is where things are also extremely exciting for our spending friends. And it's because you can pick the item you get. Every 50 is guaranteed to get you a pink, and you can pick any of the festival limited pinks. Look here, we have the finest hour recorder, which offers all damage dealt for your Transcendence heroes. There's some really good ones here that offer protection and defense. Go ahead and take a look at the 2023 festival treasures. You will not be disappointed by the selection of pinks in there. But more importantly, you can get an orange one every 30, which means you can pick up Encapsulated Memories, an item normally unavailable now because it's from way back when in 2023. If you aren't familiar, Encapsulated Memories is able to buff your crit damage. Here I just have a 2-star, which gives 15%, but if you go ahead and take it all the way up, you can see the bonus is as much as 50.7. This is massive for some accounts, as it does mean you're able to really boost your heroes and give them access to holy damage, skill damage stones, because you don't need to run crit attack. Very strong item, gives really powerful buffs, and potentially something that's a game changer for players and the best treasure train item ever released. Therefore, it's likely that players will be excited by the idea of spending and getting their hands on one. The only downside is you can only get 150 of these treasure coupons, which means technically if you bought all of them for over $350, including the Imps Adventure Pack, you'd be getting 5 of them because you get an orange every 30. There is a very rare chance that you do manage to pick up Encapsulated Memories. You can see there are shards available here, but the pool is so saturated with different treasure train items that arguably I think the chances you pull it are slim. It's more likely than you're just going to get it on the pity 30. Personally, if you've never had an Encapsulated Memories before, I think a good number to do would be 120 treasure tickets, and that would get you enough for a 3-star Encapsulated Memories. 1 for 1 star, an additional 1 for 2-star, and then 2 more to 3-star. That could be good, but it's still extremely expensive. But I know for spenders who don't like that you can't get Encapsulated Memories anymore, a 3-star one on your account could be super interesting. And then when this event returns another time, you could do it again to get yourself another 4 and take it to 4-star, which would make it very big, offering as much as I think 35% crit damage, which is really nice. So if that's something you're interested in, spending is not necessarily a bad thing here for the treasure train. The one thing I find upsetting though is that the event doesn't offer anything outside of simply treasure train and awakens. Normally, I do not feel comfortable with spending hundreds of dollars on this game if I'm not getting destiny materials, cores of origin, sublimation, and all the other amazing resources that allow us to improve our heroes. In fact, I think it's really important if you are spending that much money, you have the opportunity to get star souls, which are available to improve your heroes when you are Nirvana. And I find that really upsetting, that you're able to spend so much money this week but not get any of the key resources for improving your heroes. But I know for people, getting an A tier is really impactful on their account, and I do know that having additional crit damage from the encapsulated memories would be really nice for some spenders, as that item is never available anymore in the game. So I understand why some people would want to spend. There is the rarity factor of A tiers and the treasure train that makes this appealing, but I do think the price is extremely high and unpleasant, so I would not be surprised if many people chose not to spend. However, I'm aware that spending money and gambling is fun, especially if you have a lot of money to throw around. So it is likely that a lot of whales who have disposable income will be doing the awakenings this week just for the fun of it, and potentially there's going to be a lot of A tiers up for grabs if that's the case. Let me know in the comment section down below if you're a big whale and how many A tiers you get, but I think more importantly, I'm excited to know how many free-to-play players are going to get good awakenings from their 10 awakens that they do. The last point for this week is the treasure train itself. You can see hero token has returned, which means if you have 150 train tickets, I would absolutely use them here to get all of the chests down the side for this month. Some people would likely even do more to try and get even more rewards. I don't know if that's necessarily the best thing, as I do like to get these chests, as these are guaranteed to get you items. Normally, for accounts that haven't already fully upgraded it, I lean towards the Queen's Glass, because upgrading Hero Token is extremely useful, and as I've already said, the Lady Sunshade Hat and the Conjuring Flute are normally really good as well. When it comes to the reds, I actually prefer to go for the Alchemist Eyeglass here, as this actually does improve the crowd control of your mages, so it can be really good with heroes like Holmes Young and Therapist of Blood Betty. And then when it comes to the greens and the purples, I would just iron out whatever hero token items or items from other trees that you haven't fully upgraded. The main reason hero token is really good is because as you improve your points in hero token, you actually unlock fixed attribute bonuses for having different scalings. A lot of people like to eventually push for 5,000 points here, as this offers 800,000 fixed attack and 72 million fixed HP. Really nice bonus stats. Pushing to 10,000 can be a bit of a stretch. It's worth it if you can do it, but that does mean you have to have everything here really highly upgraded, and that's extremely difficult to do. Good luck with your awakens this week, good luck with your pulls in the treasure train, and hopefully you folks are going to get something really nice. I know this week is an Imps Adventure and Shelter mission, but that is by no means the main part of this week's event. It's all about getting lucky, pulling some really cool stuff, and let me know if you're a free-to-play player that manages to get their A tier finally for their account. Either way, folks, I'll see you next time. Make sure you subscribe and do not miss any of these event reviews to make sure that you know how to make the best progress in the week ahead. And of course, if you want to join us for account reviews, you can catch us through our Discord and on Tuesdays for account reviews. Until next time, have an amazing week, and as always, happy idling.